Have you ever looked back after a manic, depressive, or mixed episode and thought, the signs were there, I just didn't recognize them? Maybe you started sleeping a little less. Maybe your thoughts became a little faster. Maybe you became more irritable than usual. Or maybe you quietly pulled away from everyone you loved. The truth is, bipolar episodes rarely appear out of nowhere. Most of the time they whisper before they scream. And the earlier you recognize those whispers, the greater your chance of preventing a full-blown crisis. That's what today's episode is all about. Today I'm going to share the 7 early warning signs that a bipolar episode may be starting, along with practical strategies you can use to respond before things spiral. These are the exact types of patterns I've learned to watch for in my own life. It took years and a lot of mistakes and a lot of learning to recognize them, but understand my early warning signs were one of the most valuable tools in protecting my stability. If you've ever wondered, how do I know if this is just a bad day or the beginning of an episode, then this episode is for you. So let's dive in. Point number 1, your sleep changes before your mood does. If there's one thing I could encourage everyone living with bipolar to monitor, it is this: your sleep. Sleep isn't just about being tired. It's the first domino. Sometimes it looks like sleeping only 4 or 5 hours and feeling completely energized. Other times it's needing 10 to 12 hours and still feeling exhausted. Years ago, I thought sleep problems were just stress or part of my personality. Looking back, I see they were often my brain telling me that something much bigger was happening. Now I don't ignore changes in my sleep. I pay attention because I know my brain is communicating with me. So practical action, keep a simple sleep log. You don't need anything fancy. Just write down these things: what time you went to bed, what time you woke up, how rested you felt, whether your sleep has changed for more than 2 or 3 days. Because remember, patterns matter far more than one bad night. Point number 2, your thoughts start moving faster or much slower. Most people think mania begins with a huge burst of energy. Sometimes it does, but often it begins with your thoughts. You might notice, I can't slow my brain down, or I have 10 amazing ideas, or my mind won't stop planning. On the depressive side, your thinking may become painfully slow. Even making simple decisions can feel exhausting. So practical action, ask yourself this question each morning: does my mind feel like it's racing, steady, or stuck? That one question can become an early warning sign. Point number 3, your spending decision making starts changing. This isn't just about spending, it's about impulsivity. Maybe you suddenly feel convinced it's the perfect time to start a business, buy expensive equipment, book that vacation, rearrange your entire life. And sometimes those ideas aren't bad, don't get me wrong. The problem is how suddenly they appear. So your practical action is create a 24-hour rule. I can't stress this enough. Any purchase over a certain dollar amount or any major decision waits at least 1 day. That simple pause has saved many people, including myself, from decisions made during mood episodes. Point number 4, irritability becomes a default setting. Not everyone experiences mania as happiness. Sometimes it looks like frustration. They tiny inconveniences suddenly feel enormous. People who normally don't bother you suddenly irritate you. I've learned that irritability is one of my personal signals to slow down and check in with myself instead of assuming everyone else is the problem. So practical action. When you notice yourself becoming unusually irritated, ask, am I reacting to the situation or could my mood be changing? That question creates space instead of reacting automatically. Point number 5, you begin pulling away from people. Depression often tells us, no one wants to hear from you. Stay home. Cancel. You're too much. Isolation starts to feel safe, but it also allows depression to grow. I've had seasons where withdrawing felt easier than explaining what I was experiencing. Looking back, staying connected to a few trusted people made a tremendous difference. So practical action, choose 2 or 3 people who know your journey. If you notice yourself disappearing, send a simple text. I'm having a difficult week. I don't need you to fix it. I just wanted someone to know. You don't have to carry this alone. Point number 6. Your confidence suddenly skyrockets or completely disappears. Sometimes mania whispers, you can do anything. And depression whispers, you can't do anything. Both are distortions. Neither tells the whole truth. Healthy confidence is steady. Episodes often push us towards either extreme. So practical action, ask yourself, does this sound like my healthy self or my sick self? The question has helped me regain perspective many times. And then point number 7, the people who love you notice before you do. This one can be hard to hear, and I know that. Sometimes other people recognize the episodes before we do. Years ago, I struggled with accepting feedback because I felt like people simply didn't understand. Today, I've learned trusted people can become part of my wellness plan. Not everyone gets a voice, hear me clear, but a few trusted people do. So practical action, ask 1 or 2 people you can trust. If you notice changes in me, would you please tell me? That conversation could prevent a crisis. If there's one message I hope you take away from today is this. Episodes don't begin with a crisis. They begin with small changes. The more familiar you become with your own patterns, the more prepared you'll be to respond with wisdom instead of fear. Living with bipolar doesn't mean you'll never experience another episode, but it does mean you can become incredibly skilled at recognizing your warning signs early and taking steps to protect your stability. That's what MindFit Empowerment is all about. We're not just trying to survive bipolar, we're learning to build fulfilling, meaningful lives while living with it. If today's episode encouraged you, I'd love for you to subscribe to MindFit Empowerment so you never miss a future conversation about practical strategies, hope, and living beyond our diagnosis. And before you go, I'd love to give you my free Freedom from Bipolar Toolkit. You can download it today at www.mindfitempowerment.com/freedom. It's filled with practical tools to help you build stability, create healthy routines, and move toward a fulfilling life that you deserve. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. And remember, bipolar may be part of your story, but it doesn't have to write the whole story. You are more than your bipolar. You are a person first with gifts, talents, and I can't wait to see you on the other side. Until next time, my name's Jen. Be empowered. Thanks for watching.